Hello, my name is Richard Haight, and I've got a question from a viewer or reader who's asking me to please tell him how I can be confident. I want to accept challenges, but I can't. So this is the narrative that's in the person's head. I want to accept challenges, but I can't. Note the word I can't, not I haven't, but I can't. Which indicates that there's fear behind it. The not accepting challenges, not being able to take challenges, without that capacity, one's nervous system will never resonate with confidence. One becomes confident at anything only through accepting challenges, through facing fear and moving forward through that fear. And when this happens, the nervous system, the brain, develops the capacity or the awareness that although fear may be present, it isn't a stopping point, that it doesn't determine the outcome. It is just an experience that one moves through. But if one does not accept challenges and one has submitted to the fear, then the fear grows ever stronger to the point where it seems an impenetrable wall. Oftentimes, the inability to take challenges is actually an issue at the ego, the inability to accept failure, or the inability to take responsibility. Because as we accept challenges, especially meaningful ones, it means accepting responsibility. So there can be fear of failure in that we hate failing, we hate the feeling of failure. It's very common. In the martial arts that I practice, most people, when I was in Japan, most people would train for 3 to 6 months and then quit. And you can hear them kind of, while training with them, you could see the frustration on their face as they failed again and again. It was not an easy art. Maybe, arts, there were a number of arts I was training. They were highest level arts in Japan. And very challenging, very subtle. And you were doomed to fail countless thousands of times before having any meaningful success. Those who hate the feeling of failure who have a strong inner narrative that tells them, I failed, I failed, I failed. They can't continue and they give up. If I look at my own experience in Japan, what I can say is that voice was, I didn't believe that voice. I didn't believe that voice. It's not that voice never occurred. It's just that I didn't find any value in it. I didn't think it meant anything. I had already realized that it was just mind babble. If I believed in it, that gave it power, and then of course it would sabotage my training and I would not be able to continue. If we look at the Hamza, who wrote this email, he says he wants to accept challenges, but I can't. I want to accept challenges, but I can't. So there's likely fear there. And then there's the other aspect, more importantly, the acceptance of responsibility. If the meaning of the activity is sufficient enough, one will move through fear. I would recommend that Hamza start paying attention to what is meaningful for him or her, and start investing his or her energy into what is meaningful responsibility, and take challenges, small challenges, ever growing, small challenges, ever growing. That's the key point. In the martial arts training, we start out with simple things, repeating these simple, small things, ever building to more and more complicated or difficult, challenging challenges. If you're only able to accept the challenges of a child, start there. It doesn't matter how old you are. You start where you are. In the Kenjutsu I study, it's the highest level of Kenjutsu in Japan. Adults start with the Kodomo no Tachi, the children's forms. My teacher, when he first started training me, I didn't have any interest to train in the sword at the time, and he says to me, "Mr. Haight, I think you have a talent. I would like to teach you the sword. You would be a great swordsman." But I had no interest. I respected him so much, I thought, okay, if he felt like that, I'll give it a try. Then he started teaching me these techniques. And I failed and failed and failed. And I could see the frustration in his eyes. He taught me for 2 or 3 months this way. I could see the frustration in his eyes. And then, after 2 or 3 months, he says, let's try something else. And then he started teaching me different techniques, and I did very well with those techniques. And I continued to study, and some years later, I received the instructor's license and went into the highest levels of techniques, training, and I recognized when I was training the same techniques that he had taught me on day one. He tried to teach me the highest level of techniques on day one as an experiment because he saw I had talent. He thought I'd be able to pull it off. So turns out I couldn't, because it's not talent that's required. We have to build up small little bricks at a time to create a house. Build up and stacking until everything is aligned just right, measured out just right, and then we can move forward with our skills. Of course, the second time around when he taught me those skills, then they were then easy for me, relatively speaking. So if you wanted to accept challenges, find things that are meaningful for you. Something that you are passionate about, something that you can't just say no to. That no matter how many times one failed, one would continue doing it and work on that, and then build your skills, build your capacity, take on the challenges that lead you towards that goal, one baby step at a time. Recently I listened to a Jordan Peterson video, and he talked about cleaning your room. I totally agree with that. This is that if you take care of the small things around you, and you organize the space around you, and you can manage those things, you'll develop the capacity to manage ever greater things. You start with small and you build forward. This is a very common Japanese philosophy. It's a basis of all Japanese training and philosophy, really. There's an author, Marie Kondo, which is she has a book. I've not read it. I just saw the title, but The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I think is what it's called. She's exactly right. It's the life-changing magic of tidying up. There's more to just tidying up. One, of course, when you clean the space around you, you're actually organizing the inner space, as long as it's not done neurotically. If you're cleaning out of neuroticism, that's a different issue. But if you're cleaning and you're feeling your way through it and really organizing to create the right atmosphere, and doing so actually organizes your mind and your attention and teaches you a skill of maintaining, of of noticing disharmony and from that creating harmony. Your nervous system will start to resonate with that and move forward and be able to accept bigger challenges, taking that which is out of alignment and putting it into alignment. That includes skills. We're bumbling originally, early on, and we develop ever more refinement and capacity. If you can get that book, I believe it's on Amazon. I highly recommend it. I've not read it, but just looking at the title, I can tell you it's going to be a useful book. And that is the basis of much of the Japanese philosophy that led to such high levels in so many arts. Jordan B. Peterson is speaking of that same principle. He uses psychology to discuss it, but it's just common sense. Common sense is not something to be dismissed or taken lightly. It actually is, it's common sense for ancient Japan, but that sense is being lost now, so it's no longer common sense now. A lot of the old wisdom is being lost. Enjoy taking on the challenges. Make it a play. Don't make it too heavy. Start out playing. Enjoy yourself. Do something that's meaningful. Clean up your room, as Jordan B. Peterson would say, as Marie Kondo would say. I hope this video helps. Thank you, Hamza. Sorry. Thank you, Hamza. If you have any questions, anybody who's seen this video would like more information, feel free to email me. There's a link below. If you'd like to donate, if you find these videos helpful and like to support this project, it'd be so appreciated. Thank you. Bye-bye.